Okay, so we're live, which is always a good sign. If we come up here and turn battery on, then alright, turn that to roll, align time to short. I just need to check that you're not heard. Explain. Can you hear yourself? That's the question. Emergency lights are armed. Your dampener is on, which is cool. Can you? So do you reckon I should just turn my headphones down? You are quite loud. Don't know what that does. I don't know. Can you still hear yourself? So Explain is being picked up. If I just flick over to chat. Hi Toby and hi Jack. Yeah, I can hear you. Aha! Now I can see. So we now have a message for our IRS. So we're going to go into position, initialization, flick over here, and we're currently in Lima Sierra Zulu Hotel. Yes, we are. Okay, cool. And we are at Terminal A Gate 57. Our route, it already knows where we're going to, and we are going to Lima, India, Romeo, Foxtrot. Went out of my brain for a little bit. And we should hopefully be taking runway 24. If we show who's online, we can see. Yes, we have tower and data. So 12572. Let me look on our charts. Yeah, clarify, we should be taking 34. If not, that is all good. So we come over to here. If we go over to sim brief, where are we? We have a cost index of 56, and our reserves are 5.1. Our cruising altitude today 190. Cruising winds are 34 at 4, which is very small. So we've got more or less no winds, and temperature is 9. We're not gonna actually. Yes, we will execute that. We're not going to have a derated takeoff, but we'll have a climb 1. Flaps 5 for departure. CG is 23.8%. That's our weight for taking off. And trim is set. Okay, so now we just need to go over and ask for clearance. But before that, we need to open our OneNote so that we can get everything set up. Hello, Danny. Yes. So I'll open my checklist. And... oh no, we haven't got clearance yet, so we don't need our checklist technically. So if we come down here, we can go onto our ATIS 12572. 12...
Back with Zurich arrival. This is Zurich Information Hotel.
Yeah.
Departure runway 28, arrival runway 14 ILS approach. Transition level 70
so we'll
Met
have a different
report
thing.
Zurich at time 1620 UTC. Wind 330 degrees 3 knots. Cab OK. Temperature 15. Dew point 9 QNH 1023. No significant change. Advise on initial contact you have information hotel. Report aircraft type on initial contact with
I don't
Zurich
have to turn
arrival.
that down.
This is Zurich Information Hotel. Departure runway 28, arrival runway 14 ILS approach.
Okay.
Trend.
So, what is tower 118.1? Is it? That's an issue. Okay, so you can hear me, right? Yeah, that's what I've been thinking of doing. Let's have a look. App and volume. Turn audio for VATSIM down. And then now my microphone is turned down. Yes, it is. I don't need to go into sound. No control panel actually. Sound. Recording microphone levels and go all the way back up to 100. That's going to deafen your ears. I can't. I mean, technically I could disconnect there. Go into settings. Output volume. -23. Now connect. Has my microphone gone down? Okay, cool. So we have all latest. 118.7. Yeah.
Advise on initial contact you have information hotel. Report aircraft type on initial contact with Zurich arrival. This is Zurich Information Hotel.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're connected to our first voice room, which is always a good sign. Zurich Tower, Delta 2556, radio check. Okay, so this was an issue last night.
Delta 2556, Zurich Tower, code, day radio 4x5.
4x5, okay, that's fine. Okay. So, let's have a look. Delta 2556 requesting clearance to Rome as filed. Information Hotel QNH 1023 Boeing 739.
Delta 2556, check again your flight plan. I didn't receive any flight plan so far.
We will refile. This is irritating, seeing as I've already filed this, but we'll just go into VATSIM, copy that, squawk box connect here. I need to wait. Okay, so we're connected.
Advise on initial contact you have information India. Report air.
Okay. Information India now is. Information India. Okay. Oh, hopefully the thing's changed. Page up. Oh no, wait.
Cab OK. Temperature 14. Dew point 10 QNH
Okay, so it's still.
1023.
Okay.
No significant change.
Much, sir. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye. Space 250, 253, frequency change approved. Thanks for flying to Zurich. Have a nice evening. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Delta 2556 clearance to Rome as filed. Information India. Boeing 739.
2556, information destination India is correct. You're clear to Rome, runway 28, Baby 3 Whiskey departure, squawk 6710.
Delta 2556. We are cleared to we're cleared to Rome by the Baby 3 Whiskey departure. Could you please repeat the squawk code?
Squawk is 6710.
Squawking 6710 Delta 2556.
Delta 2556, read back correct. Report ready for startup and push.
Did you pick up the SID? Did anyone pick up the SID? Seeing as there's no whiskey, and I'm 99% sure he said whiskey. Oh, never mind, there is a whiskey. There is a whiskey.
Tower, good evening. Wind is 05 degrees, 3 knots, runway 14, clear to land.
Okay.
Clear to land, 145 Lima, thank you.
Okay, so that's cool. Delta, no, it's fine. I've got it. 2556. Gonna go over to our route. Hi Christian, when can we play Fortnite? Yeah, I've got it. Vebi 3 Whiskey. Hi Christian, when can we play Fortnite? Don't know. You drink whiskey when flying? Yes, I do. Tango 53, and we're going to take that to Corsair. And then we're going to take the November 850, and we're going to take that over to Adina. We're going to take the Mike 727. Yeah, I do. Well, not really. I'm on SimBrief right now. Sierra Romeo November. Lima 153. To Osbull. And then we'll take the Lima 995 over to Amtel. And then we're going to take the Quebec 411. I have ringing in my ears for some reason. That's very loud. Over to Riteb. Okay, so then we're going to go into our arrival. We're taking the Riteb 2 Tango. Riteb 2 Tango for LSZH. Are we taking the transition? Negative, we are not. Gonna execute that. And our legs we should have. Yeah, we don't have any discounts. QNH 1023, so we're gonna set that up here. High pressure in the air tonight. Going to our X checklist. I think it's
engine hydraulic pumps. On. Electric hydraulic pumps. Off. Air temperature source selector.
Is
as needed. Trim air switch.
Lima, welcome to Zurich. Taxi to gate.
Temperature
Alpha
selectors.
13 via Juliet and
as
inland
needed.
crossing runway 28 approved.
Recirculation fan switches. Auto. Air conditioning pack switches.
So we need to flick on our yaw dampener. Trim air switches on. Emergency lights are on.
Lima and crossing runway 28.
We can now start our APU. But I need to get some lights everywhere. Don't know where I get them from, but that's fine. Gonna start our flight leg.
Tower, got an RV gate LV 368, radio check, sorry,
Hello.
LV 368, Zurich Tower, got an Abig, video 5x5.
5x5, longer from all LV 368.
Fun. Let's have a look. Flight level 190 is set here. Flight level 190 is set here. Get up our checklist. Okay, so our left aft fuel pump is on. Our APU is on the start position, which is good. Our APU generators, we need to give them a minute, but they will come on in a sec. APU bleeds again will come on in a sec. Emergency exit lights are armed. Window heaters are on, so are probes. Our recirculation fans are on. Isolation valves, once we have set the APU bleed on, which it is set now, is coming over to auto, which is always nice. We go to our left, disconnect our GPU. Engine hydraulic pumps are on. Fuel is loaded. Payload is checked and all on board. Position light is set for steady. Our logo light is as needed, so we're going to flick that on. Our cabin lights are on. Our IRS mode selectors are set to nav. Our FMC is set. Stabilizer trim is adjusted. Comm radios is set. Flight deck doors are locked. Gear pin is in our cockpit. Transponder is on standby. We need to get our squawking code here, which is 6710. 6710, which is all set. And it's set squawk mode Charlie, so that is always good. Landing altitude set, yaw dampener on, initial altitude is set, but we're going to set that to our initial altitude is the altitude that we get instructed by ATC, but seeing as we haven't had one, this will be our cruising altitude. Our flight directors are both on. Auto throttles are armed. And our altimeters are set. Before our start, anti-collision lights on. Fuel pumps on. And our center fuel pumps are off, seeing as we do not go over the limits. Actually, we may. No, we don't. Parking brake is set and auto throttle is on.
Alpha 1-3.
Let's have a look. Do we have enough fuel? 2 hours 13, which is all set. Okay, so they're all good.
CDU display.
If fuel in center tanks exceeds £1,000. Yes, we have our taxiway charts. Fuel tank center. Let's have a look. What was the requirements? Checklist before start.
CDU
it was
display.
£1,000, and it does. So we're going to need our center fuel pumps on. Let's call up ground and well, not ground obviously, but see what they are saying. Delta 2556, gate 57, Boeing 79, currently ready for push and start.
Delta 2556, start of a pushback approved, facing east.
Pushback and start approved, we are going to face east, Delta 2556. So we are facing east. So we're going to need to go to our left. So if we go into our pushback, pre-plan. Going to end up right on this taxiway right here. And the taxiway in question.
Call me through the menu when you're ready.
The taxiway that we are going to go onto is... Ooh. It doesn't actually have a name. Showing you our charts. These are the airport charts, or they're the best airport charts that are available. So if we go here, we can see, open our charts list, we can go over here, but we don't really have any better charts. But it's the link for basically. Let's go into our charts, we can come back to explain, and we need to start up. And start our pushback.
Toes driving up.
So if we go back to our checklist, so if we have a look at our charts over here, which you should be able to see right about now, you can see that we're going to take pushback and turn left, so we'll be facing this way. I'm going to guess he's going to want to redirect us all the way over. That's odd. Why is he making us face east? Like...
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
We were facing this way. Parking brake is set. That's odd. So we'll push back and then see what's going to happen from our pushback. And then I'm going to guess that we're going to tax... Oh yeah, because it's runway 28, isn't it? Yeah, so that's why we'll be facing this way. We're probably going to just taxi along here and then take Alpha 1, I'm going to guess. And this is the link for. If we come down into our Navigraph, we can put our V speeds, and we need to set this to our V2 speed of 141.
How connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake is now released.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engines.
So we're going to turn our packs off. I'm going to flick hydraulic pumps B on, and we're going to start engine number 2. As you can hear, nice like low rumbling sound. Engine number 2 is now coming alive. 10 on our N2. 15. 20. Now as we rise towards 25, I'm going to start to increase this. Now we're at 25 up to idle, so we've now got fuel on that left engine. Hello JWC. What's your favourite plane? I would say I do love the 7-8. Okay, so now that is good. We can flick over and turn our left engine. And as we go here, we have ground crew clearance, so that's fine. Packs are off. Recirculation fans are off. My bad. Engine 2 start switch. Obviously that's all stabilized, so we're actually starting now. 22 we can now increase as we hit 25. When we hit our stabilization from our left engine, we can then go onto our after start checklist, and when we hear that click, it is good. So now both of them are idle. We need our engine start switches to continuous, I think. Yes.
Ryzen 33, are you check?
I could hear that twice.
Ryzen 33, Zurich Tower, good evening. DDR4 by 5.
Operation complete. Please set parking brake.
Parking brake is set. Now we can flick
Disconnecting tow.
onto our engine generators here. We can turn our packs onto auto, isolation valve to auto. We need to wait until that's gone. We can turn our recirculation fans on. We can now turn our APU bleed off and our APU off. Our auto brake is set to RTO. Taxi lights are coming on. Our flaps are now going to be set to 5. Wing anti-ice as required. Seeing as we are plus 15, we will not need that. Probe heats are on. Strobe lights are on. Our landing lights are on. Even though we're not landing, but I guess they'll still
Tow
work.
is disconnected and Viper spin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. I'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Our runway turn-off lights are coming off. Our transponder mode is TARA, which is already set. Display traffic is on. Brakes are on and flaps have been checked and confirmed. Delta 2556 ready for taxi to the active.
Delta 2556, taxi holding point runway 28 via inland Alpha.
Taxi runway holding point of 28 via Alpha. Delta 2556. Engine hydraulics. For our nose wheels are coming on. I can hear that twice for some reason. I don't understand why.
Sorry. The information. India current cleared to Innsbruck via runway 28. Take to whiskey departure.
Going to flick these over to continuous. Now we're going to taxi to holding point of runway 27.
Departure Digress to whiskey departure. Climb maintain. Height altitude initially and squawk 6712 Ryzen 50.
Right now, 3-3, read back, correct, report, ready for start and push.
Why is that happening? Have a look. Preferences. I don't know, I can hear it twice for some reason. I know, but I think it might be... Oh yeah, someone might have it playing out loud in their speakers. Or something like that. So we're taxiing to... Never mind, we need to get up our charts. Gonna then take a left ASAP up here.
Guten Abend, Private 2818, Boeing 737, mission information, India, stand Alpha 43, requesting clearance to Summit down.
Gonna arm our LNAV.
Private Air 2818, Zurich Tower, guten Abend, information India current clear to runway 28, Webit 3 whiskey departure, squawk 6713. Clear to Marden, runway 28, Webit 3 whiskey, squawk 6713, Private Air 2818. Private Air 2818, read back correct, report ready for start and push. Report ready.
So it looks like we're wonky, but technically we aren't, seeing as the taxi line needs to be under our right rudder, and then we will know that we are in line with the taxiway. Yeah, we're on. Well, it doesn't actually say what we're on the charts, but we'll hold point Alpha 1. We'll just hold here. He didn't really specify, he just said holding point of 28. So that's fine. We need to stay here. Okay. We're not on the line, but that's fine. Delta 2556, holding point Alpha 1 of 28.
Delta 2556, wind 050 degrees, 3 knots, runway 28, clear for takeoff.
Cleared takeoff, runway 28, Delta 2556, thank you. So we are just going to start our taxi on 228. And now, if all the lights are on, so that's fine. We need to do our before takeoff checklist. So if I pull this up, takeoff clearance has been received. Brakes are off. Toga is in. IAS indicated our callouts. We need to make sure that everything is set there. Before takeoff, fuel flow is reset and then rate. We've already checked that. Center fuel pumps are as required. Strobe lights on. Landing lights on. Taxi lights are now all off. Transport mode TARA. Display traffic is on. Brakes off. Flaps checked. So everything is set and we are ready for our departure. Fasten seatbelt signs on. Even though I didn't say that in the checklist, but I remember. It's that guy. It's that Ryanair guy. Okay. Throttles 40. Toga. So we're now, takeoff power is set, airspeed is alive.
80 knots.
80 knots is checked.
V1 rotate.
V1, rotate.
Positive rate.
Positive rate, gear up.
400.
400, we are stabilized. So gear is up and can come over to the off position. 160 knots, we can now go flaps position 2. We are approaching our flaps up speed. So we are now approaching our flaps up speed, so flaps are up. Auto brake is now set to the off position. We can now start our left turn and engage our autopilot.
Delta 2556, contact Swiss radar 128.050, goodbye.
128.050, Delta 2556.
Virgin 155 on the localizer for runway 14. Virgin 155, Zurich Tower, good evening, wind 050 degrees, 3 knots, runway 14, clear to land. Clear to land, runway 14.
LNAV, altimeter set standard. VNAV, I apologize for that. Zurich. Yep. Let's come down into our departures and let's have a look at the departure we're currently on. We cannot view that for some reason. It was the, in one note, VETIG 3 whiskey. Don't know how to pronounce that. 3 whiskey on our departure. VEBIT 3 whiskey. Delta 2556, currently climbing through 6,000, following the VEBIT 3 whiskey departure.
Delta 2556, Swiss radar grüezi, climb flight level 190.
Flight level 190, Delta 2556. So we're already on track to do that. We can now come into our legs, and it's going to take us relatively up to 190. Which obviously is what we want to happen. Now let's do our after takeoff checklist. Let's have a look after takeoff. Engine start switches are off. Autopilot on as required, and FMC climb is VNAV and as required. Which is cool.
Delta 2556, turn left, direct Odina, climb flight level 290.
Turn left, direct Odina, climb to 190. Delta 2556. Using reserve fuel, but that is fine. So if we just come up here, we can make sure that we are bingo fuel. I'm going to make sure. Let's have a look. Was it? But our cruising altitude is 190. That's odd. Seatbelt sign is now onto auto. Seems we've passed 10,000. Center fuel pumps are as required. Center fuel pumps are off if below, and on if above. Are we above 1,000 kilos? Let's. So we can turn our fuel pump center off since we are below. Because
you're leaving Swiss airspace now. Unicom 122.8. Have a nice evening, Chuck.
yes, so we haven't hit 1,000, so we can turn that off. After takeoff checklist is complete. Altimeter standard, yeah, make sure logo lights off.
2818, Swiss radar got an object identified, climb flight level 200.
And our landing lights can come off. Okay, so that is our checklist, and that is all of our checklists complete. If we come over here and look at our charts, we can see that he has made us go direct to Odina. So we are currently veering off to the left. Just take a look at chart. Epilepsy kicks in, yay whiskey, theme for a drink, nice. So if we disable that, you can see we're going, I think here, this is Odina. No, here then. Yeah, we're going direct to here, so we've got quite a while until that. And then we're going to follow this down, and then we'll hit our arrival in about, in about 40 minutes.
Easy 96 Victor Romeo, Swiss radar, good evening. Easy 96 Victor Romeo, direct Hotel Oscar Charlie. Direct Hotel Oscar Charlie for Easy 96 Victor Romeo. Chicago 297, Swiss radar, good evening, set squawk 6763. Squawk 6763, Lufthansa Chicago 297.
So let's have a look. Clock is now on, forgot to do that at the start, that isn't in the checklist.
556, confirm climbing, flight level 290.
290, 190 is our cruising altitude, but we'll fly to 290, Delta 2556.
Delta 2556, according to your flight plan, you filed Udina at flight level 290.
Okay, sorry about the inconvenience, Delta 2556, we'll climb now.
Yeah, that's no problem at all, you can stay at 190 as well, that's fine for me.
Yeah, can we just stay at 190, Delta 2556?
Absolutely. Maintain flight level 190, Delta 2556.
Delta 2556, thanks a lot. I feel like that sounded so sarcastic.
For this, you have to switch over to Swiss Radar on 134325. Bye-bye.
FMC for Adina is at 190. Let's have a look at our VATSIM. Yeah, cruising altitude 190. Oh yeah, but it does say flight level 290.
KLM 47 November, contact Maastricht 135.
Which is a bit icky. So,
135
if I switch
450,
over here,
thank you, goodbye.
this is our VATSIM flight plan.
Private Air 2818, direct Sozon. Direct Sozon, Private Air 2818.
So you can see our flight plan. Then at Adina, it's saying flight level 290, even though our cruising is 190.
924 Alpha, descent flight level 310. Flight level 310, Lufthansa Cargo 297, identified flight level 310, direct Sonom.
Okay, so as you can see over here, it says flight level 290 at Adina. So I get where he's technically coming from.
Easy 92 Kilo Echo, direct Akazu. Direct Akazu for Easy 92 Kilo Echo.
Odina, 459, which is our winds or whatever. It says flight level 290. So. Don't know why SimBrief did that, but yep. We should check that in future.
Easy 92 Kilo Echo, descent flight level 240. Descent flight level 240, Easy 92 Kilo Echo. Delta 2556, proceed direct Sierra, Romeo, November, VOR.
Direct Sierra Romeo November VOR Delta 2556. So we are now going to direct to over here, as you can see, our last the waypoint after Adina, which is Sarono, which is a VOR station. So like you can tune into the frequency, which is 113.7, but we're not going to do that. But we've basically just taken a reroute. He's just rerouted us to make it a bit easier for us. So credits to this controller, who is called Tim. So credits to Tim. He has made our lives a lot easier. JWC, how are you? Oof, that was a loud click. Oh, this guy is here again. I just killed this guy called Antivax6969. Nice. So we're probably not going to have any more ATC apart from this guy. It's this Ryanair 3-3. Is there a way to like block him or something?
Ryanair 3.
Yes, I hear you. 5 by 5.
I don't see anything filed at 210, but in this case, climb flight level 210.
Yeah.
Climb flight level 210.
Ryanair 3.
JWC, are you still here?
Kilo Echo, descend flight level 210.
Just gonna recall that, make sure everything's still valid, everything's still working. Can turn our floodlights on. Yes, sir. Hello. Have you been flying still? Has your X-Plane life been going well? I should probably get a plug-in that allows me to get torch. Where have you flown to, JWC? So this is quite a hilly place. We should be flying over the Alps, maybe. I don't know. Mine has on X-Plane 10. What do you mean, Danny?
Under fly 17 kilo, contact Maastricht 135.450, bye-bye. Contact Maastricht 125.450, just. Delta 2556, you're leaving airspace, monitor Unicom 122.8, bye-bye.
Over to Unicom. Thanks a lot for ATC. Thanks.
EC92 Kilo Echo, descent flight level 190. Descent flight level 190.
Delta 2556 out the cockpit for about 5 minutes. So fasten seatbelt signs come off. We're gonna identify cabin crew. I'll literally be away for about 2 seconds. I'm back. So, I have massive crunching in my ear. Okay. Oh, whew. Just landing at Arlanda. Oh, cool. Where did you fly from? It's how our charts are looking. This is where we are right now. Just exited Switzerland, actually, I think, anyway. No, actually, we might still be in Switzerland. Because we've got so much of the world to explore, which is insane. But to think that the longest flight in the world went from here all the way over to here, and we're just doing that. It's crazy. So, let's see if we have any ATC for Rome. If not, that is absolutely fine. Yeah, so technically it's saying that I'm still in his airspace, but I know that I'm not. But if we look, oh yikes, that's an issue. Our whole our whole control for Rome has just gone offline. Oof. Which is annoying. Don't know where our lander is technically, but okay. Short final. Make it butter. Make it butter just for me. If yours is butter, then I'll make sure to make mine butter. Oh, that's Stockholm. Okay, cool. I was gonna say. Hi, first officer. How are you do? How are you do? How are you doing? Or do I? Just looking in chat. Oh, I should have got that plug-in, shouldn't I? Oh, that's irritating. I'll get it next time though. So we have ILS. Actually, no, we don't have ILS. But we can still do ILS, hopefully. Don't know if we have glide slope though, which could be momentarily an issue. Yeah. So bummer. So what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to flick over to a runway that has ILS, because that could be an issue. Arrival. Let's have a look. ILS 25. So if we look, we can come over to our approaches of this. 25, ILS or localizer, okay. We can unpin this, we can come over here. We're still on the same transition, same arrival, but just with something else. So we can go on the Taquina ILS, which is all a Taquina transition. Let's zoom out, make sure everything's good. Howdy. Change. ILS runway 25. Okay. So if you didn't know, right now, I'm just changing it so that over here we have our ILS basically. So we're going to select that, and that's all selected now. So this is the ILS for runway 25 with the Turquinius, I think it is, transition, which is it's long, but it's fine. Let's go over here. Do not currently understand. So the ILS is the instrument landing system, and the instrument landing system is what I usually use when I'm landing. So it's kind of like an auto land basically, but you're not automatically landing, right? So it's what you would use in a real plane basically. So there's a little diamond here and a little diamond here, and that guides you to your rate of descent. So you're meant to have a 3 degrees angle up in the air, and then that should guide you basically. It looks like in our actual thing it's got the right idea. Just gonna make sure. Yeah, everything is the best that it could be. So if we hop back over to our charts, we can see that we go on to our arrival, right, which is our star basically. So when we go on our star, which is technically our arrival, which is just the way that we will line ourselves up basically, we will then take our approach, which is how we actually get down onto the runway, and this has all the other transitions, but we're taking the Tango Alpha Quebec transition. And then we'll take that, and if you look on the charts here, if we overlay it, you can see, so we start on our approach, and then we hit onto this waypoint here. We will then come down and take a right turn onto the ILS. And that ILS, we're meant to be at 3,000 feet when we hit this point. So then it will give us a 3 degrees descent down into runway 25 of Rome, which is basically how this all works. So that's what I've just done, and if you can see in our flight plan over here, you can see that we do take that sharp right turn and then come and hit our runway. So that is all set up basically for our approach, so we can get ourselves lined up, and especially now that there's no ATC online, we can just get ourselves lined up. I don't understand what is what, but we will then come down and then be lined up and get the correct rate of descent. If you don't know what ATC is, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's air traffic controllers, which are just which is just the people that I'm speaking to that help me to land and tell me where to go and stuff. But basically, that is yeah, it is just how aviation works. This is the closest that we can get to reality. So, if we look on some people in Unicom, if we look on our charts, it also has a map, so we can just see that we're currently flying. We've just passed Milan, we are approaching Parma, and then we'll be into Rome. That was an extremely loud cough that just went straight into my eardrums, and then we'll fly into Rome. And then, as you can see, it's laid out our missed approach as well. So if we miss the runway, or we have to go around, take this, and then we'll get sent back to the runway, which is all cool. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry that I keep going, But just give me 1 second, I just need to do something very quickly. Okay. Okay, so we are back and a phone. Let's have a look. Everyone who's still in chat, can you put a thumbs up, seeing as chat has been slightly short today, so if we can liven up chat, that will be amazing. We're going to let cabin crew know that they should start service, seeing as I'm starving. Okay. So I'm just going to check right now. In our settings, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to see that there's no... What's it called? That it's just clean, basically. There's no... There's no, like, anything. Sorry guys, I'm just sorting out levels. Okay, so 295 knots continuing, 294 whatever, and then about Riteb we're gonna start our descent, and then it should take us on to the ILS, basically. JWC, have you landed yet? That is the question. And if so, was it butter? So if you come over to our charts, we are coming over to Reggio nell'Emilia, and we're in Italy currently. Yes, we are, because it looks a bit like a boot. Don't see the resemblance. Actually, I kind of do. Oh no, I do. So that's like the heel, and that's like the foot. Oh, I see what they're on about. Okay. But that's Naples down there. We've got Latina up here, L'Aquila, Pescara, Perugia, Siena, and then we're obviously landing in the capital city of Rome, which is going to be very, very, very nice. Okay. Ooh, what is that? That is loud. Just got something like extremely high pitched. Just that was oof. Ooh, that's odd. It's like one of those cat alarms. It's loud. Ah. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Oh, we're gonna do passengers applause. Let's go. Okay. Oh. Slightly. Okay. Making sure that we get claps when we land so that we know it's a good landing. But obviously, this is the only flight I'm going to trial out because, yeah, it's not going to be great. Need to make sure that we actually lock our cockpit doors, which has already been set. Oh, cool. Already been set for us. Cheeky. So we're going to open VATSPI over here. I am going to show you what VATSPI looks like if you've never used it before. So, currently this is VATSPI, and this is basically a map of the world, but with VATSIM. So, if you look over here, all of these things, these are people. These are physically different planes flying in America, but it's mostly in Europe, VATSIM. But if we come over to where we are, and you can see us on the map, Delta 2556, going from Zurich to Rome, there was one of these blue boxes here, which is the control that we were talking to earlier. And so all of this was inside a box, basically, so that we could contact ATC and we could land via the control, not actually tower. However, they recently went offline, so we're not going to have any ATC coming in, which is why I had to set up ILS so that it got us into the right position, so I didn't have to vector ourselves in. Vectoring is basically when ATC would give you certain headings to get you lined up with the runway, but as you can see in our flight plan, I have manually changed and modified our flight plan to make it align us up with the runway using the ILS and for 2.5. So again, if we layer it over here, before it was just straight to there, but now it's taking us through here, down, and then lining us up in the runway. And by here we're meant to be 3,000 feet, and then we have a good 3 degrees when we descend, which is called our glide slope. Attention all, a checkout is currently taking place in Echo Golf Papa Whiskey Alpha. Echo Papa Whiskey Alpha. But we're not doing that, seeing as it doesn't really matter. Let's have a look. We need to go over and set our minimums. Which are minimums are basically the points where you can't turn back. So if we come over here, it should be 400. So we're going to come back over here and set that to 400. And that is now set. Navigraph charts are intended for flight only, and that is exactly fine. Yeah, so that is 400 feet above. So we're going to start at 3,000, and then we will eventually glide down. But our nose isn't going to be on that same angle. It's not going to follow this angle. It's going to be 3 degrees up, so it's going to descend like this, not like that. It's going to be a bit like that. So it's basically minimums, which the glide slope is 225 actually. Oh yeah, but we're not on category 2, we're on category 1. And so that is the point where we would, it would say minimums, and we would say continue if we are continuing. But I am going to change that over to 225 because we may have to do a, what do you call it? I can't even speak. We may have to do a category 2 or 3 landing because visibility may be low. So I'm going to set it for category 2 so that we know that when we get to that altitude, there's no going back. Which is a nice way to put it, if I do say so myself. Your iPad froze. Okay, welcome back, Danny. Yes. So we are currently taking this right turn right over here, and we're going to Q Gits. And we should start our descent quite soon. We again take a look at charts. I apologise for you being able to see OBS. We will start our descent soon, since we're quite close to our airport in question. So I think it's saying that by, where is that? TAC, we're meant to be descending, but I'm not comfortable going like that. At QGITS, we were essentially meant to be descending. So I'm going to disengage VNav. I'm going to go down to 12,000, but I'm going to go at a slow rate. So 1,000 feet per minute. So we're not descending quick, but we're not descending slow. which is always a bonus. And that was loud. So I'm just setting our throttles. So we just put that down and to 25%. Because when we are trying to hold a speed, throttles usually go down to about 25%, and then that just holds the speed. 25% throttle will hold the speed. If you go off, as you can see now, we'll start to lose speed. So if we go up to 25%, we're going to hold speed, which is, he's going to try go back up to our speed of 294, and then if you look, he's going to go back to 25%, so that's basically fine. So everything is set. So we're starting at descent, so we're going to come into our checklist. We're going to see before descent, clearances obtained 1 Unicom. So we're going to reset our MCP altitude, and that's set. Descent is set as computed, but we don't really need that, seeing as we'll be vectored in anyway. Our de-ice is required, so we'll set that. Our avionics and comms are reviewed. Our avionics and navaids are set. Our start and transition are set. Our heading is set. Actually, no, our heading is not set. That is wrong. 248 is our runway heading. If we go back, our decision height is set. Our logo lights are as needed. We don't need them. Speed is reduced. Not yet, seems not on our arrival. And autopilot is off when desired. Okay, so that's all set. And give me 1 singular minute. Let me just mute my...
5,000 to go.
So what we're going to do, sorry about that, we're going to switch over to scroll lock, so you can see this. So as you can see, we're coming into our arrival right here, and we're going to be at 120 over here, and then we're going to descend to 6,000 when we hit this waypoint here, and then from there we'll hop over to our ILS, and then that should give us our altitude. So then we'll descend from that 6,000 down to 5,000, down to 3,000, then keep the flight level of 3,000. We need our what do you call it? ATIS. So we're gonna do over in game. If you don't know what ATIS is all of the information about the airport we need. So the QNH, the runways that are in use, what the winds are, what the visibility is like. So now we're going to put that here. So it's currently requesting the ATIS for our desired airport. Hopefully it should appear. I need to go on to VATSIM just to see, and we've left Milano airspace, so we don't have any ATC, which is annoying, but we need ATC technically, but it's not like a must-have, seeing as we can do ourselves. We are currently on Unicom. Okay, so I will tell you once we hit the Riteb waypoint at flight level 120, which we are already at. That is standardized though. Now altitude needs to be set for ATIS, but we haven't got ATIS yet. Hopefully we can request ATIS, and it is currently requesting, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is requesting. Let's just put disregard, just so that they know to disregard that. Okay. we will see in chat, and it will pop up when we have ATIS. So at this point in time, I'm preparing to set our altimeters to their desired QNH. Probably descend to 6,000 when we are established on our arrival. I will, when we're on our final, I'll set our speed and our flaps and our auto brake. And then I just need to then focus on the charts, basically. That's what I'm just thinking about doing now. So I will bring up charts as soon as we are actually on the chart. And yes, that will be what is going to happen. Okay, so I'm annoyed that we have no ATC, but no ATC is just an opportunity for us to shine and crash. Oh, it's our altimeter. 29902. So if we have a look over here and just look up the QNH, we can set the QNH here, I'm pretty sure. So if we were to move that, yeah, it doesn't do anything with the other ones. So QNH is the pressure in the air leading to what altitude we're at. Okay, so if we look up QNH, saying it's 1015. So if I have that set there, if we do not end up getting the ATIS, which would be annoying, we can just set to 1015. But we can also ask here. So we're now taking the turn after we've hit RITEB. So I'm going to transition you all over to our chart screen. So when we hit here, I'm now going to decrease to 250 knots, seeing as that is the maximum. Auto brake is set to do because of the length of the runway in Rome, which is, I had it earlier, but I don't know right now, at this moment in time. This transition is just a holding point, basically, but when we hit that, we'll be onto our ILS approach, instrument landing system approach. So we are taking an early turn, but that's fine. And then now we are descending down to 6,000. So I'll give you back your desired screen of X-plane. And let's descend at 1,000 feet per minute. We're not going to increase in altitude, in speed that much, seeing as we're just descending a tiny little bit. So, the fasten seatbelt sign's coming on. Cabin crew is now, they have noticed that we are going to descend. Let's have a look at our checklist. approach to below 10,000 feet. We are prepared for our missed approach, so yes, basically our landing lights are now on. Our cabin crew, yep, they are warned. Our auto brake is as required. Engine starters coming over to continuous. Our anti-ice is required, and our speed is reduced to 230 knots. So our QNH, we do not have any ATIS yet, so we'll just stick at standard until this flashes yellow or orange or whatever, and then we'll switch over to 1015. That is if we don't have ATIS by then. Our speed is now reduced as chartered, and autopilot is still on as we desire it to be on. Flight level 100, we are descending past now, and then we'll be going down to 6,000. Delta 2556 down to 6,000 as we are established on the Riteb 2 Tango arrival. So everyone's notified. That was for Rome traffic. So we have our flaps up speed at about 202 knots, which is fine. So we need to make sure that we're below that when we deploy our flaps, otherwise, as recently seen on the channel, we will hit a hard left bank and we'll probably crash and die. Which isn't great, being honest. But it is what it is. So, back onto our chart, so you can see that next to this line that we're currently flying over, it says how long it is, and I think that says 35 nautical miles, but sadly we are now covering it. Yeah, 35 nautical miles, and it's saying that we need to be at flight level 100. We need to be descending to that, but then right here it tells us our MHA, which is our altitude that is required, is 6,000 feet by here, and our speed is 210 knots. So when we start to approach this waypoint right here, the Tarquinia, we will then descend to 6,000, which we technically were already doing now, and go to 210 knots. Yeah, so if we're not there when we are required, we can hold, which is fine. Because if you look in the FMC, I'm going to take you back over to here. First, we got a notification saying that we don't need our engine anti-ice on, and there's a hold, so we can hold at our Tarquinius. That was loud. But that is fine, basically. This is quite a sharp turn, so hopefully, if we zoom into it, let's have a look. No, never mind. They're just taking the turn straight away, so that is an issue. But again, that's fine. So now we're going down to 210 knots. Delta 2556. Rome traffic. We are down to 210 knots as approaching our ILS and localizer arrival. So now back onto the chart. We are going back and forth today, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to hit this point, and then as soon as we've hit that point, we're going to be on our ILS, and then I can just overlay this. So, we are now approaching Rome quite rapidly. And I'm going to deploy our speed brakes and set our QNH to 1015. And we're now descending to 210 knots, which is as required. Just checking that we are still on the scene that I want us to be. We'll be at 6,000, then we'll come in here. And on the chart, on this chart over here, we can see our required altitude. By here, we need to be 5,000. By here we need to be 3,000. So we'll hit a straight descent to 3,000 at a very slow descent rate. Seems we've only hit 6,000 and we've been going from there, so that is all set. So we'll go to 5,000, then we'll hit 5,000 in this line, and then we'll hold that for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then we'll go down to our desired altitude of 3,000. If you can see down here, our platform altitude that we need to be at, so we can enter the ILS and get our glide slope, is 3,000, which is all set. Minimum's glide slope 225 feet, all set down here. That is when we're doing category 2 and 3, but we may as well just set that to that so we have a decision height at the lowest point possible. So we're now going to flick back over and take off our spoilers. So we're now going to take a sharp left turn, which we'll probably miss. So we should technically take the left right now, but we're not going to because it doesn't want us to. So now we're going to descend at 500 feet per minute, which is very slow, but it will make us descend quite nicely. Need to take the left turn right now. It needs to be a sharp left turn as well.
1,000 to go.
1,000 to go already. Oof. So if we now disable the yokes for a second, yep, it will see that we're gonna be around like the outside. That was loud. So we have missed that point, but it will get us centered back. Probably change that to about 350 feet per minute because we're not going anywhere quite soon. Because you've got 29 nautical miles to descend, virtually. Delta 2556 Rome traffic down to 5,000. So we are all at 5,000. Everything looking good. Let's have a look at our speed. If it will give us a speed. I don't think it's going to give us a speed. No, so we just need to be below our flaps up speed so that we are able to what do you call it? Below our flaps up so we can deploy our flaps and not have a hard left hand bank. As you can see, it is taking the exact route that we have on our charts. So we're going to take a right, then a further right, then another further right, and on our charts we have exactly the same: a right, then a further right, then a further right. Okay, so we're descending very slowly. Hopefully we still are descending. Yes, we are. Slowly but surely. We are still descending. And if you didn't know what this dotted line is on our charts, hopefully that changed it. Yep. This dotted line here is just our missed approach, which is all good. In other words, that is what we do if we miss the runway or get told to go around or have to go around because of issues. So say that we're going too high, we'll have to go around. Too low? Yeah, we'll go around. Basically, any situation that isn't right, you're going to go around. Which is dandy. We're going to follow this around. And then I'm going to slowly go down to 190 knots. Delta 2556 Rome traffic down to 190 knots. 190. And then we can deploy our flaps very slowly. And our Navigraph 138 is our speed. So we'll get that plugged in just a moment. Just going to put that there so we know. everything is good, so now we can start to deploy our flaps. Going to go flaps set position 2. Just so that we're all set. Actually, I'm going to take flaps off because we are going to want to increase to 210 knots, which hopefully the flaps are all down. Okay, cool, they are. Now we can go to 210 knots just so that we're going to get a tiny little bit quicker. So then we're just going to go about 1,000 feet per minute. Just go down to 3,000 when we hit this point here. And then we'll start preparing ourselves for our approach and landing into Roma Airport. I just realised it is actually Roma Airport. So it's actually, the real name for it is the Leonardo da Vinci Fiumicino Airport. Fiumicino Airport. Learn something new every day. I'm good at pronouncing stuff. Hello, you're back. Hi, Toby. Did I? Oh yeah, sorry. Okay. So hopefully, yeah, this one we get to cut a bit early. With our turn, that's what I'm saying. When we hit this, we'll decrease to about 195. Our speed. So I forgot how long we've got left. 6 minutes. And speaking of how long we've got left, we need to actually tune into our IFR. So we are now tuned. So yeah, look, so it's showing us that you've got localizer. I meant ILS. I beg to treat and differ from the... Okay. So we're going to start our turn in just a minute. And I'm going to go down to 3,000 at 1,000 feet per minute. And descend. And decrease our speed to 195. Delta 2556, speed 195 down to 3000. Rome traffic. Okay then. I have a feeling that that airport on our right now No, I'm looking at that one. Our airport is this one right here. That is our airport. That airport right there that is very close to us is, if we look on VFR, Ciampino or Ciampino, I don't know how they pronounce it in Italy. Okay, so as you can see, technically we could land at that airport if we needed to, but we're not going to. Speed brakes off. Descending a bit quicker. We don't really need to descend a bit quicker, so I'm going to go back up to 1000. Just going to make sure seatbelt signs are on. We are now approaching our final, so our speed is reduced, yes, and as assigned. Our flaps are down, not really, but we're not that sure. Oh, approach. Okay, sorry. So, the cabin is identified. Seatbelts are on, landing lights on, logo lights on, anti-collision and wing lights on. Speed is as on chart. And autopilot, again for the third time, is still on, as required. No, because we're not on final yet. So there's a difference between final and short final. Short final is, the difference in the name, when you're short and you're close to the runway, and final is when you more or less hit ILS. So about here, we'll do the final check. Okay. Let's have a look. 25. Gonna look here. Does look amazing. So it looks like we're heading to this airport in front of us, but we're not. We're heading to the right. So if I look right, we can slightly see the airport. It will come in more into view in a few seconds. Yeah, so you can basically see it there. It does look very good. Okay, so we're about to approach our final. And everything is set. So we need to notify that we are on final. When we do take this right turn, then obviously we will establish our localizer. And glide slope when it is armed. Going to get our airport charts, as I know that this is correct. We know that we're coming in on runway 25, so I will try to depart via Delta Hotel, and then we will have to further cross runway 34 center onto Charlie Hotel, and then we will take that taxiway down to Bravo Alpha, then we'll follow Bravo through, and then we'll get parked into our stand. Okay, so we're getting our final checklist. Speed down to 180 knots. And we should see the runway span into our view right there. This is looking lovely. So we have localizer. So I'm going to start to increase flaps. So we now set VOR localizer. And then when glide slope comes, we will set that. Flaps 30. Looks like 40, but trust me, it's not. 138 is still our speed. Down to 150. We're going to hit that approach button. We are on ILS. Delta 2556 currently established on ILS with localizer and glide slope for runway 25 Rome traffic. Okay, so now we're going to go to our desired speed of 138. Final. Speed reduced as computed. Flaps are down. Auto brake is as required. Speed brakes are armed. Gear is now down. Taxi lights are on. So, we need to prepare ourselves for go around. Our speed is VREF as computed. Our flaps are as computed. Glide slope is alive. When glide slope is alive, check that the gear is down. Gear is down. 3 green. Let's have a look up here. 6 green. Landing clearance, we don't need clearance because we're on Unicom. Minimums, check runway in sight. We are stable and we have runway in sight. Auto throttles will come off in just a second, and autopilot will eventually then come off. Okay. All right, this is all looking good. Okay, so gonna keep auto throttles on for a bit. (138) indicated. Again, checking speed brake is armed, gear is down, flaps 30, thrusts are auto, autopilot is on, 1000 was stabilized, missed approach altitude is set. Heading bug is set, so we're at 247248, that is correct. We then need to take auto throttles off. Going to make sure we are on the correct OBS. Affirmative. Whew. Let's get toe brakes. 500 stable. 400 stable.
Approaching minimums 300. Minimums.
Continuing.
200.
200 stable.
100.
100 stable. Okay.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oof, bit hard, but that's fine. Holding that nose. Reverses up. Reverses green. Keeping that center line. Toe brakes engaging. 80 knots. We will stow reverses. And we are going to vacate on the left. Let's have a look at where we vacated. Bravo Echo, one before we expected to vacate. Delta 2556 vacated via Bravo Echo. Rome traffic. We are going to take this right turn. That no entry is not for us, that is for taxiing aircraft that are not vacating the runway. So we are now on Papa. We are going to take a left. When we take this left in front of us onto Golf, and then we can taxi to our stand. Okay, so taxiing via Golf, and we're going to take a right turn, and then we can taxi to stand. Uh, 508, that is our stand for today. Taxiing, keeping center line, very nice. Braking, let's have a look at our checklist. Landing rail, speed brakes deployed, they were deployed. Gate, taxi lights, all coming off, landing lights off. Strobes are now set off. Parking brake on, engine start levers coming down to cut off. APU bleed now coming on. Going to come over here, connect our GPU, so we can connect to GPU right here. APU start. Our APU should start here in a second, as we can hear. Need to give it a minute. So that was a nice landing into Rome. Was it hard? Oof. We will redeem ourselves. So APU bleed is on. Never mind, we're gonna have to leave APU for ages now. We need to start our APU again so we can power off our engines and our hydraulics and everything. So that's now gone quiet, so that is a good thing. APU bleed. APU generators now coming on. So we can now, whoopsie daisy, disconnect our GPU again. So seat belts now coming off. Nav lights we do not need on right now. Cabin crew are informed. Anti-collision lights off. Fuel pumps all off apart from the left AFT. Anti-ice off. Hydraulic pumps off. Isolation valve open. Flight directors off. Window heaters now off. External powers check connected. Packs off. External power connected. APU bleeds off. APU off. Left fuel pump off. IRS mode selectors off. Emergency exit lights off. Cabin lights off. Position lights off. Logo lights off. Standby power is set to off. External power now going to come on. Flight deck lights are coming off. Well, actually, we're going to keep that on. Battery off. Now we don't need to arm that again. Battery off. Full back in its cold and dark position. So let's go back into replay and have a little look at that.
2500.
It's now saying that we have nothing on, obviously because I've said it's cold and dark, but that's fine. Did we hold altitude? No, it didn't flare at all. -458, not my best, not the worst, but now everything is off, so I will see you guys in a second.